Hello lovely sewing friends, welcome to my channel Serenity Sews. My name's Catherine and I am back for a fabric haul and also a surprise box opening. Now I am very late to the party, but I'll explain why in a second. Big thank you to all of you out there who take the trouble to watch what I produce and also to send me comments. I would also like to say thank you to those of you who give me a thumbs up. I'm not sure what that is for, but apparently I should be asking you to do that. And once again, if you think anyone would like to have a look at what I'm doing, please send them a link to my YouTube channel, and the more the merrier. Lots of content coming up. So just a very quick update. I haven't done a vlog for around about 5 weeks now, mainly because of the holidays, but also because I've had a poorly husband. And you all know what that's like. Very little time to do anything that I would normally do. So hence no videos from me for a while. But I do plan to catch up. This is the first video. Then I am going to do a what I made for my holidays video. And also the next in the series of A to Z of sewing, which is E for ease. Not easy, but E for ease. And I know many of you out there will find that particular subject interesting. So before I start on my fabric piles that I have just by me here, I want to tell you what I'm wearing. So this is a lovely French terry that I got from Beyond the Pink Door and Andrea and Keris. Wasn't sure what I was going to make with it, but I did want to do something that would work for obviously not too hot weather, but weather that's like today, a bit cloudy. And I can put this dress on, not need to wear anything over the top. And I absolutely love it. The pattern is Pattern Emporium Entice Me Dress. Now the beauty of this dress is that the front is, just as you can see, one straight piece. However, the back is cut in two parts, a top and a bottom. And the great thing about that is you can modify it to your own particular body style and measurements. I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail about this pattern because it is one of the things I made for my holiday, but enough to say there are around about 12 to 14 variations on this pattern with different necklines, etc, etc. So that's what I'm wearing today. Now then, you are going to hear a little bit of rustling here. Those of you who followed me before will know that I buy quite a bit of fabric from Beyond the Pink Door, and that is Andrea and Keris, and I follow their YouTube journey. I also join in with their Facebook group, and so on Sundays also they're live. I don't always have a subscription box. I've had 2 so far, and that's because I've got fabric, so it's not that I particularly need it. But what I've worked out is that there's an alternating theme that Andrea runs. She does a woven, she does a jersey or a knit. And I thought I'd see what was in the woven. Not that I was guaranteed to know that. And although I was going on holiday, I paid for the box and asked her to post it on the date I agreed I was back. I haven't opened this box. I know lots of other people on their channels have done box and unboxing videos, but I haven't. So I'm going to do that with you now. And if you just excuse me 1 minute, I'm going to put you down a little bit so that you can see what's going on here. Right. So they all come in a beautiful, almost bespoke box with Think Pink Sewscription Box, which is so clever and beautifully curated. What you do get is a little postcard. I don't know whether you can read that there. I won't read it out because I think you can. And on the back, Andrea writes a little message, and it's just lovely. And you can see there even a little stamp with herself and Keris on the back, which is great. I've got a small collection of these now, and they're in my sewing room. The other thing you get is a scan code which accompanies your fabric, and you can scan it into your camera on your phone or your iPad, and it takes you to a specific YouTube video that's prepared by Andrea to tell you all the ins and outs and best ways to use your fabric, which is fantastic. So she does go to an awful lot of effort. And then the fabric, as you can see, is lovely. And there we go. Pink, my colour too. And in the box, we have another card. And what it tells me on here, as you can see actually on the card, that there are different variations in this fabric. It looks like there are 2 or 3 different colourways, and I have the pink colourway there. And on the back she says, never let your lipstick or your bobbin run out. Well, I think you can safely say that I don't. So we have an invisible zip, which of course, making a dress is incredibly important, and a spool of thread which matches the fabric beautifully. A small, I think these might be the smallest size, of metal cover yourself buttons. Now I do like doing these. I think they're particularly satisfying, and I have a tool that you can actually set them into so that you don't have to fiddle around too much. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll show you how that works. But these are exceptionally good, particularly if you want to make a feature of your buttons. This little thing is actually not a lipstick. It is a tiny little pincushion in the end. Can you see that? With some needles set in. I think that's absolutely brilliant, and who would think of that? You know, it's fantastic. And on the bottom, beyond the pink door logo, I have another little gift here. So it's so full of surprises, and it is like Christmas or your birthday. What have we got? Ah, some gorgeous little heart earrings, ceramic earrings. Aren't they gorgeous? And these are made not too far from where Andrea is, so absolutely keeping these small industries going. I think that's superb. And then I have my fabric, which, as you can see, is a beautiful viscose, a really nice weight actually, because sometimes viscose is and can be a bit flimsy, but this isn't. It is a fabrics for your creativity on the edge there. I'm not quite sure if that is a supplier, but I know that I will wear this colour, and I know that I'll probably make a dress out of it. But as to which one at the moment, I'm not sure. But can you see that? So that's my Think Pink box reveal, and I'm thrilled. Even though I have seen some of the other colourways, I haven't seen the pink one, apart from Andrea wearing the pink. Now, the other thing that Andrea does is she sends these boxes out at a specific time, and if you want fabric to join that order, she will put them together, so you only pay for one delivery. And so I thought I'd better do that as well, because it would be remiss of me to miss out on some of her beautiful fabrics too. Now, this one I saw on the Sunday live, and it just jumped out at me straight away. This again is a viscose, but look at this. It has a beautiful embroidered, like embroidery anglaise border on the bottom. Again, it's a good weight with nice drape. It's the kind of colour that you could actually put so many different coordinating colours to. And I know that I'm going to make the, no, I might be wrong, the Stina or Stila skirt by Atelier Jupe. Which I have the pattern, I had the PDF printed by Andrea, and I've got to just get that cut out to my size. But that's what I'm going to make with this skirt, and I need to get on with that, otherwise I won't wear it too much. Just going to adjust you. Okay. I think I'm happier standing up actually. So the next fabric I got from Andrea was again another viscose, and it's in this very pretty, I wouldn't call it mint green, but it's a soft green. And again, it's a good weight viscose, lots of drape, as you would expect. That's the back, and as you can see, it's pretty opaque actually. I wouldn't, well, I won't line this with whatever I make. And I have 2 meters there. I'm not sure again what I'm going to do with that, but that would probably be a top or some kind of blouse, and that would be winter or all the way through really to spring. So yeah, I'm planning to again have a look at what patterns I want, so I'll come back and do another video on that once I've decided. And then the final fabric I got from Andrea is this beautiful it's a viscose cotton. Just look at that. And midnight blue, can you see that? Very I suppose large scale print, not as large as some that I've had. Good opacity, beautiful drape on this, and this will be a blouse. I know some people wouldn't put a large print up near their face, but I don't really mind that at all, and I just love it. I think it's beautiful. So that's the fabrics that I got from Beyond the Pink Door. I think you'll like them as I do. And then last week I'd agreed with a really good friend of mine who retired before me, even though she was younger than me, but has took up quilting and doing patchworks and absolutely loves it. But she's become much more interested in dressmaking. So we agreed to meet up at the Festival of Quilts. It's a couple of years, obviously, since I've been. And it was the NEC, so very local to both of us. And we met up there. And the usual displays were everywhere, and it was well attended, but also well organised, with lots of space, so people didn't feel they were tripping over each other. And there were a couple of dress fabrics stands that I knew I would visit. And the first one was the Lady McElroy stand, of course. And these were the two fabrics that I went to buy. The first one, I believe, is called Field of Dreams. And it is a beautiful cotton lawn. I mean, it's like silk or satin. I love this pattern. I have had it in a viscose, and I made a kind of tie blouse with it, but I just wanted this to make into a dress of some sort. Now, I'm probably not going to do that this year, but you know, I just love the colours in this. There are so many shades there that I just love in my colour palette. So beautiful. And then I also went for this one, which is a 100% viscose. Now, I had this fabric 2 years ago in the linen viscose, and last week when it was incredibly hot and I couldn't really stand much in the way of clothes next to my skin, I decided to wear that. I'd made it into a kind of loose fitting V-neck, I suppose a little bit like a beach dress, but I put it on and I wore it nearly all week. It was so cool. It was so easy to wear in the heat. It didn't stop me feeling overwhelmed with the heat, but there you go. But this is the pattern. Now you will have seen this before. Now this is what I call a large scale pattern. And so I got 2.5 meters of this, and this will be a dress of dreams, I think. I know that I made a dress in the other, but this I want it to be I don't know, a bit more using the flowers and using the kind of parts of this in a more interesting way. So I'm going to have a think about that and think which pattern I use. But I just love it, and I love the colours. I adore this forest green background. I think it's so flattering, and it's just beautiful. So that's one of my favourite, well, actually two of my favourite Lady McElroy fabrics. And I didn't really mind which substrate they were on, because they do a run and then they change to perhaps a viscose jersey or something. So I wasn't particularly mindful of what substrate the print was on. I just knew I wanted those two to have a think about, just playing around with the designs a little bit. So The other stall, and I've bought from this company for a long time now, is Stitch Fabrics or Rosenberg and Sons. Now they've been going for an awful long time, and they specialise in Italian, I suppose, dead stock, but they do the fashion houses, and they are buying up the rolls of fabric that are not required. So you've probably heard other fabric store sellers say that these are fabrics that would ordinarily go to the waste tip, but what he does is he also goes around quite a few of the high-end fashion houses where they've tested out on some of the more specialised fabrics, like a satin, or it could even be a matelass, or even something like oh goodness me, brocade, or some other really specialist fabric. So that's his thing. They do have some expensive fabrics, but if you look on their website, you'll see that they run sales all the time. And they also do village haul sales. And I know local to me, they've just started doing one in Solihull. So that's fantastic. I haven't been there yet, but I don't really need fabric, do I? But anyway, let me show you my pile from Rosenberg. Okay, first one is a stretch fabric. It is viscose, 100% viscose, and as I say, stretch. Gorgeous splashes of all these pinks with greens on a basically white background. And can you see that? There's a join there. There was obviously a fault in the fabric. So he started measuring this fabric for me from there, and he gave me, virtually I have 2 meters. So I will make a top in this. I can work around that, and I know that I'll probably get 2 or even 3 tops out of that. So that was number 1. The next one, it's a bit surprising that I bought this, but I did think this would make either, my nephew has a little girl who's 4, and there's always little babies on the way, aren't there? Unfortunately, I don't see them so frequently now. I'm not doing that job. But this is 100% cotton lawn, very lightweight, Italian, high density weave with these so pretty little red, pink and deep purple flowers with bright green leaves on them. So I had 1 meter of that, and that will make either a little dress for my nephew's daughter or a top. But it just jumped out at me, so, and I think, if I recall, that was £4. Then this was the one that I spotted first. This is stretch cotton, and this is what I mean. These are the kind of things that he picks up on. So this is a tessuti fabric, and you can see there, made in Italy. And we all know tessuti, don't we? And this is a stretch cotton. Just look at that. I mean, there are beautiful roses, and it almost looks abstract because of the design, how it's kind of washed in and washed out. And then look at that. I just could not resist this. Now, I've had in my mind for a while to make a kind of coat that is more of a, I suppose, very straight coat that can fasten here but hang open all the way down. When I was president of the Royal College of Midwives, that's the kind of thing I would have worn, and then I could put the chains over me. I perhaps would have worn a more simple pattern, but I just love this. I adore it. The other option I've got is some nicely, a bit like the Ultimate trousers, but some nice, I suppose, close-fitting trousers. But this was the first one I saw, and I just picked it up, and that I knew that I'd be taking with me. Then another thing that Rosenberg do is such beautiful quality linens, and I picked up 2 meters, no, 1.5 meters of this fine powder blue linen. Honestly, it's got this beautiful finish on it, which when you wash it, you know, it kind of softens up a bit. But this is the kind of thing that high-end tailors make men's shirts out of. I am going to make the self-assembly oversized shirt. I made that not long ago as a test, really, in some very inexpensive white cotton. And knowing all the time I wanted to make a linen one. So that's what I've bought this for, and I'm going to do that quite quickly. It's beautiful. It's 60 inches wide, and if I remember, this was £6 a metre. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? And the final one, can't remember how many pieces of fabric I've had, but is another tessuti fabric, but this time it's viscose linen, and a wonderful, again, floral pattern, because if there are flowers there, I have to have them. I can't help it. Beautiful colours in this. I'm not quite sure you can see how subtle some of the colours are, but this, I don't know, I just think it's astounding. And I will make a dress from this. Not sure yet which one I'll do. It's got like an ecru black background to it, so it'll go with absolutely anything, I think. But there's my roses. They are so gorgeous, and I couldn't walk past this. So those are my Festival of Quilt purchases. I didn't buy anything else. I could have done. I could have stayed and really gone back round again, and I'm sure I would have seen things and thought, yeah. However, as you might guess, I'm not short on fabric. My husband only said last week, Catherine, if you had a football field and you put all your fabric out, you probably have more than enough. I don't tell him it's probably equivalent to 2. But it's my love, it's my hobby, it's what I do, and I enjoy it. So I am going to sign off now. I'm sorry it's taken a while to do this. I hope you enjoy looking at all of my beautiful fabrics, and I'll be back very soon, as I said, with my makes that I took away for my holiday and hardly wore any, but also my A to Z of sewing, which is E for ease, and I'm looking forward to doing that one because I think there's lots of things that you'll be interested in around ease. Not that I'm an expert, by the way, I just want to make that clear. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, all my lovely sewing friends. I'll be back in the not too distant future. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, apparently thumbs up is what you do. And enjoy your sewing, be kind, and love your sewing friends.